Good day to all my Russian comrades and to anybody in America who may be viewing what we are doing. We're going to answer a few questions from our Russian comrades who we have not heard from for a while, but we have re-established communication with, thanks to the gracious and helpful U.S. government. Let me see here. Now, of course, let me tell you, I am Ivan Trushnut, your very good American friend. Some of my friends ask, why would America elect a man like Bill Clinton, who was not educated well enough to understand the meaning of the word is? That is a very, very tough question, and I'm not too certain that I am qualified to answer that question. But I don't know, with my limited education, that I believe it's a verb of being. Kind of like, say, I be, you be, free be. That's America. That's America. That's the American version of the verb of being. Yes. Now, I don't fault him for trying to get a little hoo-ha on the side. And maybe we shouldn't rehash the water under the bridges, the Americans like to say. We Russians like to say, keep the crap flowing. But his wife is up for re-election. She must be a saint for having put up with that man and his shenanigans. He is one lascivious butthead, is he not? But, there are people who love him. He runs around the world with the former Secretary of State, whoever that might be, and I don't want to cast aspersions here. But, getting paid $500,000, $750,000, getting paid more than lunch money, travel experiences is kind of like hoarding out the prestige of the office of a President of the United States. The man is one of a kind, and I don't think the country of America could handle a half dozen like him. It would be the ruination of the country for certain. And the other question from my comrades is, you'll have to excuse me, the lighting is a little strange in our little compound, and we have to make do. They made a lot of promises to us, the NSA, CIA, but like they treat the veterans, they have a tendency to, treat us all like the Indians in America, back in the 1800s. It's a thing of pity sometimes that we will try to struggle through, comrades. Well, let's see, the next question is, this is a very good point and a very good question. Why is it that to be recognized as a man, a Russian man in Russia, and for any Russian anywhere in the world, to be a true man, you must save at least one baby in your life. I, yesterday, became such a man. I was working not very hard because I don't have to work that hard. But in this work process, I started hearing a little funny little screaming sound. And I got up and I looked out the window of the compound, the part that I have been assigned to. I perhaps will show you the beautiful surroundings sometime, maybe very soon. But as I look out the window, there is nothing but darkness down there. The compound did not have the lights working for that part of the backyard, where there is a pool. This pool needs some to be drained, to be quite honest, and a lake fixed. And when this gets done, it'll be very, very nice. But comrades, right now it's kind of a hazard, though it is fenced in. Somehow a baby deer, a foal, is that what you call it? A fawn, something like that, got through the fence and fell in the pool. It was crying, terrified that it would be drowning. Though it probably did not understand the concept of drowning, it was living the concept of drowning. I came out through the back door and down the spiral stairway with a broom, a push broom. I could not see at that time what was in the pool, but I knew it was in distress. As I made my way down with a light in one hand and the push broom in the other, I flashed the light on the little Don, who had found a little spot in the pool that was a ledge and had gotten up there and had his front legs folded under his chest, and it gave me a pitiful look. So terrified. I tried to talk to it like you would talk to a human little child. And I reached down, saw where I was going to put the little deer, and grabbed it like a mother cat would grab her kitten, and lifted it out onto the patio by the pool. The little deer shook itself quickly and ridded itself of much of the water that it was retaining, and then ran off to another section of the patio. The mother apparently could not make it through the fence. She was too large, but she must have been afraid to jump over the fence. But I've seen the deer jump 7-foot fences before. This one is maybe 6 foot tall. But she did not feel comfortable in doing it, even though her baby was in jeopardy. So, seeing that the baby was now safe, I went and changed the light bulb to make sure that the future deer to come back from there can see the pool and not fall in it on a dark night. And then I went to the window and I heard the baby and the mother call to each other, and I knew that there would be a reunion, as there was a reunion to my manhood, and I am officially a good Russian man as of yesterday. Now on to another subject. Let's see here. Oh yeah, my friends, I got a large shipment of old Look Life magazines, of American magazines. And they look through them, and they have a great time looking at the old Russian photos about the Russian citizens from the 50s and the 1960s. The question is they have for me is, why are there no pictures of women other than ones that are like the mid-60s and perhaps a little hefty and having maybe 30,000 layers of clothing on them. Having lived here in America for many years, the impression that I always received was they did not want to show the American male who might have to engage in a war with we Russian. How beautiful our Russian women are. Whether they're Ukrainian or Slav, they're all from Siberia. Nothing but beauty queens. They knew that a Russian young man would not want to fight against a country that had so many beauty queens. That must be it. They use deception against young men in the military. But we do it too, so you should have seen what the American girls look like in our magazines. They're mostly hand-drawn stick figures, but, trust me, they weren't even very complimentary stick figures, representations. Anyway, let me move on to the next question from my brothers. Let me see here. Oh, this is a very good question from I think one of my Russian brothers is trying to be a smart butt or smart ass, I think is what you call it. How many capitalists does it take to screw in light bulb? My answer, my brothers, is it don't really matter. When Russian hackers knock out power grid here in America, question more appropriate would be how many capitalists it take to light a candle. You should hear me laughing inside when I say that. It's hilarious. Now, let's see. Oh, my smart-ass brothers are asking me some very strange questions, so don't take it too harshly. How when you hear the question, you got to remember America received a lot of bad press in Russia, whereas in America, nothing but kind words come out from me and my Russian brothers. It's a love fest for the Russian and the American press. So let's see here. Let's see. Why are there no hippies in Russia? Do I think he asked. For some reason, he proposes a possible answer. He says, someday we may have hippies, very, very many hippies. When that day come, let's see here. We have them, he says, when we run out of other road paving material. Run out of other road paving material, my friend, you are a cruel bastard. How can you say that about the beautiful hippies? They bring so much charm to the world in America. What was it? I don't know, I was a baby at the time, but, you get to know the Americans, they tell you about the hippies, let's just say, comparison to well, there is really no comparison to hippie. You have to go to animal world, where animal, they suffer from hydrophobia, I think is what it's called, sometimes called rabies. They're a bunch of crazy, sexed up, drugged out fools. But now they hold a lot of political offices here in America, and their mindset, flower power, and let's do some more drugs and put it to each other. It's a very pervasive mindset and behavior here in America. For any Americans who may be viewing this, for a chance, ask your grandma if she was a hippie. Ooh. And if you have any relatives in the military, you make sure you get nowhere near that hippie. Don't let them get near that hippie, because hippies kind of are a curse against the military. Though they have goodness in their heart, it doesn't balance out with the stupidity in the brain. If we got into a war, Russia versus America, let's say we got lucky and we won, and we didn't nuke everything, and you didn't nuke everything. Hippies be first things we take care of. Yeah. 6 months after Russia won war, this is how many hippies there be in America. Of course, something tells me within 2 weeks, all hippies be all cleaned up, look like they all graduate from Harvard or Oxford or something like that. Harvard or Oxford. Yeah, that would be a good cure. Russia would be a good cure for hippies. Don't worry, they're coming back. Everything skip a couple of generations. You'll be seeing hippies around again. Granny, old Granny hippie, she wants to relive life through grandchild or great-grandchild. You'll be seeing the hippies around. Don't you worry about that, hippies. You'll be having hippies coming out of your proverbial asses. Now, for the final question of the day is, why are there so many people in America who are always whining about everything? Well, it is my observations that it is a unwritten constitutional right in America that should have been written as the number one for the Bill of Rights, that whining is a rite of passage. Whining is a way for the soul to reach out to everybody and say, I am a miserable SOB. Please pay attention to me. Now that is going to conclude today's question and answer period. I hope you will, my Russian brothers and sisters. I wish you well. I wish you health. I wish you victory over all your enemies. And for my American comrades, you take those wishes I just gave to Russia, same to you, only divide by 2. Thank you.